Hi everyone. So welcome to Risa Academy. And in last class we have created the project and we have given the name of the project is online trade. And this is the default structure. It will go and it will create. And locally when you go and create any Angular or React project, so you will be able to find this node underscore modules. But in the when you go and clone, so we'll not able to find. So in last video I have showed you how we can go and you can include the node underscore models because all the packages will be inside this. And without this, we cannot go and run your Angular application. So if you see the default structure, so these are the some of the TypeScript file configuration which will be. And then if you see the packet.json, so over here we have the dependency and the dev dependencies. So currently we have created, so we are able to see only few of the libraries. But if you go and see in the real time, so there are lot of library will be there over here in the dev and the dev dependencies and the dependencies over here. So in package.json, you'll be able to see all these files and in details. If you want to go and see, so we have the packet.log.json. So you don't have to go and modify anything. We have to go and you have to work on this src directory, or you can say the source. If I'll go and expand this, so you can see we have a folder of app, and inside this we have some of the files it has created. And then we have the main.ts file, the style.cs file, and the index.our HTML file. So as we know, our browser understand only the HTML. So when you go and run your application, so this index.html file will be get represented to the browser. And if you see over here, this body will be get replaced with this tag over here. We'll go and we'll discuss more on this one. The first request will come to the your main.ts file. And from here, the by default app is going to be the your component, which will be get loaded on the first request. And if you see whatever now, if you see on the right hand side, it's running on the localhost 4200, and we are able to see some of the UI. And that UI is present inside this app.html.ps file. You can see. Now, if I go and select all and delete this, and once I will save, automatically that will be get updated. And you can see we are not able to see anything on the browser on the right hand side. Now, if I'll go and write something on the HTML, like suppose homes, so we are able to see once I save over here, we are able to see the output. Whatever the changes I will do and save, I will go over here. So over here, we are doing the hard coded value. So whatever the value it is not going to change in any cases. So that will be get represented over here. If I go and create any of the even on the li, so suppose over here, Angular, then over here, we have the React, and then we have the node over here. Save this, and you can see I am able to see the output on the changes, whatever I am writing on the HTML. And in this, if you see, we have the CSS file as well, and we have the script.tss file, we have the app.ts file. So let me go and explain you about what the naming convention before we have in the Angular, and now we have something in Angular over here. So now the naming conventions has been changed in the Angular over here. So let me go and explain that over here. So before, like suppose we'll go and talk about the CLI as well command. So ng, G for generate, C for component, and then we have the your component name over here. Now your G stands for generate, and your C stands for your component. So suppose over here, for example, I am writing over here ng, G, C, and the header. So what this command will do, it will go and it will create a folder with the component name, and then inside this, it will go and it will create the four files. So only in the case of component, it will go and it will create the four files. So over here, header.css, then header.html, then header.spec.ts, and then finally it will go and it will create the header.ts. So this is the new way of creating the files in our Angular 20. Before Angular 20, when you go and create any of the component, same thing it was there, same way, only there was some naming convention was there. When like suppose I have created component, so it will be like this component.cs, then component.html, then component.spec.ts, and finally component.ts file. So this is the CSS where you are going to write your style sheet, some. Then this is the HTML file where you are going to create your content, how you want to go and you want to display to the your UI. And spec.ts is a separate file where you can go and you can write the unit test cases. So suppose if you have written some logic and that once you commit and before assigning to the QA for testing as a developer, now it is mandatory to go and test your logic by your own with the help of some dummy data. So that we can go and you can write that logic in the spec.ts file. And this is the header where you're going to write your all the business logic, like fetching the services, injecting over here, or from that data, whatever you're getting, you have to go and you have to write the business logic based on your tasks. So all that we are going to do inside this header.ts file. Now, if you go to the this app.ts, so over here you can see at the component operator, we have the selector property, we have the import, we have the template URL, and we have the style URL. So when you are going to write the means the this is the external file like app.html app.cs. So in that scenario, you have to use the template URL or the style URL. Now, when you want to go and make it inline, so we have the option of as well, which is the template, or you can go and you can write the style. You can see style as well. But over here, like if suppose if I have to go and write over here, like suppose template colon and suppose single quote and then semicolon. Okay. Now, if I have to go and create your HTML, so like if you're going to create the HTML, so we cannot go and do the multiple line with the help of this single quote. So if you want to go and create multiple lines, so instead of single quote, you can use the tilde symbol and you can go and you can find this tilde symbol on the top of your tab key. And in this, you can go and you can write the multiple styling over here. So they have given you the option to go and to do inline as well. But it is always better to write in the separate file. So it is easy to maintain your code. Suppose tomorrow, if you are going to write your application in enterprise application, if you are working, so your code will be lengthy. And if it is in the separate file, then it is very hard to go and identify the issue. So it is better to go with the your external file. You can go and you can separately write the code over here. Here is the option you can go and you can use. And if you see the selector name, so app.root over here, which is the selector. Now, wherever I want to go and display the UI of this component, I can go and I can use this as a tag. And that I have showed you where you have used in the index.html. So whatever you are writing in the app.html, that is replaced with the this body over here. So always you can go whichever the component. In the upcoming classes, we are going to see the lots of example about creating the component. At that time, we'll go and we'll see the use of this selector. And if you see this app dot root, so app will be prefixed. Whenever you go and create any of the component with the help of the command, so this app is prefixed because it is sitting in the your angular.json. Over here, if you go and see, we have over here in the, you can see it is prefixed with the app. So we'll see this example as well in the in our upcoming classes. And if you see in the real time as well, whatever the structure it is created by default, they will go and they will keep as it is. And from here, they will go and they will start creating the means structure over here. Suppose now, if I have to go and create over here some components, so what I will do? So simply I will go and I will create a folder inside this src. So I will click on the src and we have the option over here, create new folder. And over here, I can go and I can write over here components and all the components. Now I can go and I can start creating over. Because if you go and create out means inside this src file, so in real time, there will be lots of component will be there and every component will go and will have the four files. So it will be very hard to go and it is maintain or we can go and you can search the component name. So always whatever you are creating, either pipes, services, directives, whatever you are creating, try to create a folder and inside that try to go and create that files over here. So we'll go and we'll create the components in our next class and we'll go and we'll see how we can go and you can display the this component to the our browser. So currently we are able to see display only one component over here. Now we see multiple component, how we can go and you can create and how we can go and you can display it on this browser over there. So we'll go and we'll see the examples of component in our next class. Thank you.